talk first, or will I welcome
Go
everybody
ahead.
first?
So I think we're live now. It
Great.
takes a while for it to show up. There's a little delay on Facebook or sorry, on YouTube. Yep, we're there.
All right.
Um, awesome.
Hey, hey,
Hello, everybody.
everybody. Yeah, we're glad you're here, and I'm so excited to be with you, Nate. Just be able to. We've got a. Oh wow, I'm hearing my voice back.
You've got to
Nate, you
mute
might
it.
even help me figure that out
You have to
first.
mute YouTube. Go to YouTube
Okay.
and mute the YouTube page.
Hey guys, while I mute my YouTube real quick, that's what you're talking about.
Yep, it's
Okay,
all
we're all
good.
good.
You're like,
So
wait a
now I don't
second.
feel insane with voices in my head. So guys, welcome. Nate, it's great to see you. I love that we can still socialize this way, and
Mhm.
it really lifts my spirits. The few minutes we've spent together already. And guys, so now you're in the conversation. This is something that we want to be really energizing and refreshing for you as well. Just a lot of positive, impactful ideas. Keep your mindset strong. I think it's funny. Nate's going to talk a little bit about mindset, but then also move into solid, concrete strategy. And I know for most of my life, I kind of put mindset on a second tier, but I'm so glad you're focusing on that a little bit at the beginning, Nate, because
Mhm.
I think ultimately our behavior is a function of our mental state. And so
Mhm.
the way we get in shape mentally and have our attitude affects the way we behave and the success we have. So,
Wow,
uh,
well said.
guy, guys, Nate Grahek is he's the founder of Sticky.
Wait,
So if
wait,
you
wait.
guys,
Let's give people a chance to join here. I think some of the emails just
oh,
went out right now, so you and I
good.
can let's just chat and say hi to people who are here early.
Awesome. Yes, a lot
Um,
of you I know already know Nate. When some more people join in the group, we'll do an introduction for those who are new.
if you're
Uh,
here already, go ahead and say hi in the chat that you can see us and hear us. Okay. Looks like all the audio, everything's working all right. Yeah, I think that we've got
cool.
record registrations. I'm so excited. Thank you guys for completing that survey at the beginning.
Love
Dude,
looking.
I got
Yeah,
some really really cool stories from people sharing of how grateful they are that so many professionals, wedding professionals, are coming together to share advice and encourage and support each other. No competition, just community. And other educators going live and doing free trainings like this. There's just a lot of really good stories of community seeing. So Gina, hello and good morning. Kelly, thanks for being here. Everybody else, as you're joining, go ahead and say hello, where you're calling in from. I know that these are really tricky, uncertain times, but for me, I'm going to talk more about this, but just focusing on work and finding these ways to just focus for a minute it's an amazing distraction too. So and sometimes that just the distraction alone is worth it. So thanks for giving us your
yeah.
time today. So let's see, what are some we're gonna just have some icebreakers here for a couple minutes. I think we've got 3 minutes before we'll jump into the content. What are some other kind of highlights, things that you've seen, Philip, that are kind of warm in your spirit?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have been just like what you're talking about, diving into work and remaining productive um, has actually been not only a distraction, but like a joyful thing for
Hmm.
our hearts because in our Come Unity education group, it's just been awesome. The seeing what people are just coming in there and providing resources. Like we just set up a place where we're asking, like, let's just create this post full of resources, and people just come in there and think about one another and make that available. One
Hmm.
really cool story that we just experienced was a family who lives down the street from us. And I'm always thinking about what is the impact that photography really has on people. What is the value that we offer as photographers? And this family, the father is a medical doctor. He's been working extra hours at the hospital here locally, but
Hmm.
I had seen a post about that on Facebook, and as I ran past their house for exercise the other day, just sort of saying a prayer for them and thinking about them, and just called up to encourage, and said, maybe we could, when you guys need some moments to like connect as a family, because I know you're under a lot of stress. Dad's gone all day. They've got 4 kids. And I know you're concerned about him at the hospital doing his work. Maybe we could just like with our telephoto lens from a distance, and I know we're gonna talk about this idea more later, but maybe we could just get some family pictures of you guys where y'all get to take a moment and connect outside the house, outside of the kind of the bunker, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And her response was with tears, like you just this is a direct answer to a prayer for us because tomorrow he is deploying for Japan and South Korea with medical military. Um, and so it reminded me how valuable not
Mm-hmm.
only the photos are,
Mm-hmm.
but the therapy that
Mm-hmm.
if we're giving families that opportunity to connect, that they almost need photographers like life coaches. Like they need
Yeah.
you to guide them, to suggest to them, to encourage them to make those connections and create those memories together. So I was we just before we got on live here, just stepped back into the house from the street, creating that, and so
Wow.
excited to just be let in on other people's lives,
Mm-hmm.
see how things are
I
going
think
behind the
those
scenes.
those gentle nudges that we offer, it's people. I think right, especially in times like this, emotions are definitely kind of welling up inside a lot, and just a little nudge, whether it is squeezing in a last minute opportunity to do a cool project like that, if it makes sense in your community. We'll talk about all
Right,
of the asterisks later,
right.
but there's other things. We're going to give you tons of other ideas of other ways we can be nudging each other and creating community, even when we are stuck at home. Thanks for sharing that story. That's a good reminder. We've got a bunch of people here live already. It's amazing turnout. Kelly, hello, Mildred, Janet, Lacey. Thanks for being here, Lacey. Tyler, let's see. Tyler Burns says, "Hey, what's up, Philip?"
Hey, oh hey, Tyler, how's it going?
I love it. Joanna from Wisconsin. Thank you guys for being here. I think I'm ready to go. We're at the top of the hour. I've got more that I've tried to teach ever squeezed into this presentation. So we should go ahead and kick it off. If you want to give us a quick
Yeah.
introduction, Philip, and guys, keep the comments coming. Let me know what's working, what's resonating, any questions you have. We're going to make this a very conversational and interactive like just 1 hour.
Yeah, and I just want all of us to thank Nate for taking this time. I invited Nate here because um, Nate Grahek, owner of Sticky, like a marketing guru in our industry, specific, which I love that specificity and that expertise in our industry, knowing what we as photographers deal with and need for our businesses to thrive. But I also love you, Nate, because just the attention that you give to people as humans, and during a time like this, just you're one of those like the term I use is guru, and I know you wouldn't like put that term on yourself, but just top notch knowledge that we can benefit from while we're taking this time to soak in new things. So I think that as Nate talks today about strategy. I just want to let you guys all know that the same as Eileen and me, whenever we try to put together strategy, it's always filtered through this foundation of does it fit our values?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if our businesses are values centered, then that is when they thrive and succeed, because it creates a business that is focused on our client. And if you're serving clients' needs, you succeed. And it's amazing how you can even do that through marketing. You can
Mm-hmm.
speak to their needs and help them understand what they need. So many of us just go through life just kind of getting by. Every
Yeah.
day we like check off our to-do list and we're like, oh my gosh, I didn't really accomplish my life goals. And it's amazing how through marketing, small businesses can help people to do that. So Nate, I'm excited. I'm going to let you jump in, but thank you for being part of this just unique time to share freely with people and do it in this cool way that we should have taken advantage of before.
That's all good. Philip, thank you so much. That's really it means a lot. One thing I've got two quick things to piggyback on that. One of the gurus that I really look up to, as you know, is Seth Godin, where he's got
Yeah,
this
love
in
stuff.
his latest book. He says, "What if because marketing, a lot of times people, we hesitate to do it because we don't want to be pushy or salesy or slimy or whatever we think marketing might be. But really good marketing, a good way to filter it through your values and through what the kind that really works nowadays is, what would your customers, would your clients be upset if your marketing went away? Of course, they're going to be upset if your services go away, but there's also an opportunity to continue to maintain that connection through our marketing, through our heartfelt connection. So then I'm going to go ahead and kick it off and share. Guys, keep the comments coming. Philip's going to be here chiming in the comments, and I'll bring him back on to kind of dialogue some of the other things we've got going. But I want to say that I was running my own portrait business many years ago. I've been fortunate enough to start Sticky 8 years ago, and is my full-time job ever since, serving photographers. And I was thinking about it this morning, getting emotional. Like, I know that it's really hard for a lot of you that are out of work right now, and my heart sincerely goes out to you. I worked my tail off the last couple days getting ready. I was up super late, up first thing this morning. I feel it as my obligation, as my duty to serve right now. While you guys are sitting at home in front of your computers, I want to make sure that you can at least be productive in your businesses and give you, even if just an ounce of relief in looking towards the future. So keep the conversation coming. I've got some good things going. So guys, in short, now's the time, right? Now's the time to do those projects that we've always said I can't get to because I don't have the time. Well, hopefully now you do. I think there's been a lot of shuffle as we addressed to adapt to having kids at home and schedule changes. But in the coming weeks, I think you're going to have some time. So let's make the best of it. One quick tip I want to start with, as everybody is still joining. We've got so many people here. What do you guys think of this video ask tool that I sent out as a way to collect your feedback, to collect your face, your voice? I'm going to share at the end the amazing ways you can use this in your business to reach out, to be generous, to make a connection with your audience in a way that scales. And one really amazing tactic or project you could do right now, everybody's going to be working on their website. Well, the best way to get good copy for your website is through customer testimonials, right? So I'm going to show you a quick kind of formula I use at the end, how to get good testimonials. I just love this idea. The best interface is your face. Video is going to continue to be huge, guys. I know everybody's using Zoom and other things like that to do sales, but this one is pretty powerful. So I'm going to show you guys how you can use your own face to ask the question in a way to prime them to share about their hesitations and problems before they chose to work with you. And I'm going to go through this example at the end. So looks like we got everybody here. That's a lot. I love it. Thanks, guys. So here's my agenda. And thank you guys for your help in helping prioritize this agenda. We're going to talk about maintaining a productive mindset, making an income, creative ways you can do that now, while threading a very delicate needle and a delicate balance that a lot of us still don't have all the answers for. And what the vote, I'll show you this, the survey. Almost 70% of you said your priority right now is building for the future. And that just warms my heart, because it means that's the way you can be the most impactful right now. So I'll say more about that in a minute. So as a bonus for hanging out with me today, guys, another fun project, you got to show what you sell, right? So we've got this awesome free Photoshop template that I like giving away with a couple different room mockups. You can drag your images into frames or canvases or wall art mockups. If you haven't mocked up a potential client's or a past client's images into a wall mockup to show them what it could look like, now's a cool opportunity to do that one-off, but it's also a really important opportunity to do that in your marketing, so that when people want to, when learning more about what you do in the future, they know that you sell products and they're attracted to you because of that. So I'll give you the link to download that at the end. As I said, we're going to just spend a few minutes on mindset and in making an income, because you guys all said you want to focus here. So that's what we're going to do. All right. So real quickly then, let's see, Chris, thanks for chiming in. Chris says, mock-up is a great way to sell. Clients love it. Awesome. I think people just need that extra nudge again, right? To use their imagination of what things look like. So this is what I've been using as my mantra. Stay safe, guys. Be safe right now, physically, mentally. Follow the instructions of your local authorities, of course. At the same time, be gentle with yourself. If we look out into the overwhelming kind of Facebook stuff, what we're doing is this is unprecedented is the closest word. Like there just isn't, we've never done this before, guys. So not only, we're so quick to get angry at others because we don't necessarily know where the bumpers are. So we're going to bump here and go here. This one tweet said, I'm so overwhelmed right now because I, at the exact same moment, feel like I'm totally underreacting and overreacting at the exact same time. And I think that really speaks to me. I'm figuring this out too, as you are. And we, the same way we don't yell at a baby for falling down when they're trying to learn how to walk, we shouldn't do that to ourselves. We shouldn't do that to each other. So that's one that I've really been working on myself. Time box yourself to all of the overwhelming data. Even though there's a lot of new news coming, you'll notice that it's not refreshing as often as you might be checking the news or checking Facebook. Really limit your time here. This has been a tricky one for me. I like to be like, oh, I'm not the one that's like, I'm the exception, right? I don't get depressed when I spend too much time on social media. I can do it and not get depressed. Nope, I can't. It affects me too. It affects everybody. So Gloria asked, what is time boxing? Time boxing means limiting, like scheduling time on your calendar, making a plan for you, still sticking to a schedule, even though this is unknown time, can be really comforting to our mindset, and limiting how much time you spend on each thing, especially when it comes to social media. And so that you can use this time to connect with your family, to learn, to read books, to study, to work on your marketing and prepare for the future. Okay. I'm sure you guys have seen this prayer before, and it's really helped me right now. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And this one's tricky where there's this window of the things we can, it feels like it's getting a little smaller right now. And that's what a lot of the fear comes from. But this is really an amazing learning opportunity for me to know that I'm trying to filter the data I get in the news with, am I going to change my behavior? Am I going to do something differently? And if not, then I don't need to overwhelm myself with it. The biggest takeaway is be generous. Whether we talk about sales opportunities or not right now, I think we need to start with generosity. Jen Rosenbaum also shared, how will you look back at this time? Will you remember it as a time of connection, creativity, and time well spent? Or time of worry, sadness, and isolation? The choice is yours. What I want to add to the conversation is in defining moments of our history like this, and we all look back to some things similar, whether it's 9/11 or other really hard times, what we remember, it's like our brain, because it's all new, our brains are really quick to remember these moments with more fidelity than we normally remember day-to-day life because it is so different. And what we remember most is how people show up, how our community shows up, how the businesses in our community, how our friends show up. And I ask you, how do you want to be remembered? When this all passes, whether it's weeks or months, when this all passes, how do you want to be remembered? So now I want to transition into ways you can make money. And I want to say that number one, start with lots of communication. You can't assume anything right now. You want to communicate with past clients, if you still have people that are on the books and you're worried about how to do the cancellation. People prefer more communication in times like this. And if you're going to sell additional products or do an online session, I recommend giving first right now, taking the time this week and next to think of creative ways to give a digital app or whatever platform you prefer, to send out a card, to create a small piece of art and give that first. as a reminder of small business and the struggle you're going through, and then think about how much more receptive everybody's going to be as we hit a new normal soon, to then invest with you. You could going back and designing albums for people. There's so many things you can do. Start with the images on your hard drive and get creative. Start with a gift. Say, hey, we mocked this up. I'd love to give it to you here, but if you want, you can upgrade it to this. I know we didn't have a chance to talk about wall art options. I know that we're all stuck at home right now, and we're reminded of how important it is to have imagery of our family on our walls. I mocked this up because I think you might like it. So those are really good opportunities. And all these ideas I got from the community, just being super generous and sharing and being creative. I'll end here with generosity. It's the opposite of fear, guys. When a lot of times when people are scared to spend, especially as we exit this downturn, there's still going to be some fear. And when we are generous first, it's like the opposite of what happened with the toilet paper, right? We saw toilet paper disappearing and we all got scared. And scarcity is like the number one human motivator subconsciously. But when we see that around us, we all like think scarcity. But when we see other people being generous and giving to us, we can't feel scared. It's like the opposite. It like erases some of that fear when we just focus on the generosity. Okay. Other quick ideas, and then Philip, I'll have you chime in too with the project you're working on, both to do now or maybe as we exit this. So making income, free product photography. I love this idea for other small businesses that are stuck and maybe rely on retail storefronts. If there's a way to exchange some of the products on like porches and maintain safe contact, you could start for free as a way to build a relationship, and then of course, once you start there is an opportunity for it to grow into more. Same thing with a lot of businesses are going to be figuring out how to go online or how to beef up their online presence. In everything that's related to that, you're more experienced than a lot of small business owners. So think about how you can help that. The stores that are essential, that need to stay open, they're going to need help with graphic design and signage. You've got access to print shops and graphic design tools and website. And then even if you're good at managing social media, you could help other businesses that are still open manage theirs. Okay, so if you guys do me a favor, this replay will live here, so you can. I didn't change this. I went to say bookmark. I had it. Okay, bookmark this page and save that. And then if you can do me a favor, subscribe to this page where we're going to have additional training as well throughout. So let me bring Philip back on. Tell me quickly what how you're going forward with the mini session idea.
Yeah. So we have, just like everyone else, and you're talking about those bumpers, adapted and changed this. We kind of have a three-prong approach to the system that we teach photographers all over the country. So our mission is to help businesses that are just starting.
Oh, bummer. He froze up. You might have to recall. So in the pre-call, Philip and I were talking where, let's see, I'm going to end and he'll have him call back. I'll have him chime in at the end with that when his connection's a little stronger. Okay, so now I want to dig into the meat and potatoes of the presentation today. It's building for the future. The first thing I want to talk about is like really email. Is that the strategy that everybody's raving about still? Should we do it or not? Does it really make sense? And then we're going to talk about the 80-20 rule, especially even though you have some time to work right now, you don't have infinite, right? And we've got to be careful that you don't overwhelm yourself and try to take on too much than you have time for, right? And then we're going to talk about this awesome pricing inquiry funnel that has I'll do a case study and I'm going to go quickly here, but it's super valuable. And I'm seeing some of the most excited results I've seen with that. All right. Let me try and get Philip back one more time. Cool. And then finally, I want to wrap up with cool ways that we're using video, the tool Video Ask, and then another tool I use. All right, cool. Philip, you're back. Awesome. Let me bring you back on.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I'll just
Oh no.
in brief. This is kind of like there's always a moment where one photographer is going through a real struggle and there's no business, and they're not sure about the future, and that's who we focus on helping. Now it's just a lot more photographers going through that at the same time, particularly in wedding photography and events where you cannot shoot that kind of event. It's outside of your control. So what our experience has been as wedding photographers. An experience of diversifying our business through our Maximizing Minis system, but through portraits, backyard business that is actually the biggest income of our business, and the weddings are just kind of like the face of our business. So that's what we're helping people with right now. The cool thing is even for most people, this is those asterisks we talked about. For most people in most places, this provides even now an opportunity to maintain your portrait business in a very safe way. And we can talk about how that's done. I'm creating a lot of videos right now for our class to show them, but we can talk about it as well. And then on the other end that you talked about, sort of giving first, I think that's so important because there's kind of this project that we're working on that has nothing to do with photography and that will not be a profit maker at all, but just seeing a need and thinking, how can we use photography to meet that need? And so I teased this in our group, but I'll just tell you it's progressing, and we're helping grocery stores where people are, if you've walked into a grocery store recently, you felt this, right? You have to go out and get food. That's the one thing you have to be careful. And it's the one place where we want to feel like humanity is still normal, but everyone's kind of edging away from you and looking at you out of the side of their eyes, and it's kind of, you can cut the tension with a knife. And we thought grocery stores just need, like, if there was some therapeutic music outside, if there was someone playing some music and smiling at you and you came in, and also use that moment of uplifting your spirit, because music does that to us. It does the same thing a bear hug does. It releases the same chemicals in our brains and we feel the same way. But could you couple that with like a reminder of let's be safe and practice best practices in the store too? Because grocers are having a hard time like asking people to behave in the store without it becoming a confrontation. And so we're partnering with them to get photographers to who have to go to the grocery store anyway, so that they have approval where they can bring a musician with them, and the musician can provide that therapeutic music outside the store, the important reminder outside, and then video people's really emotional reactions to that music and just sharing that more broadly so that people who are stuck at home can be impacted by it as well. There's so many creative things you can.
And I love that, because I think a lot of times when we haven't gone to the store, some of the fear is like, what's the store like? And every time I've gone, it's like, oh, people are being human and can chill and kind, and it's fine. And just, I think being able to share those nice moments makes it sitting at home and not going to the store easier. It's that kind of quells that scarcity, fear-driven response.
Yes.
That's awesome. Cool. We'll have more time to brainstorm those ideas. This is just there's so many cool things coming out of this that I think will be helpful now and in the future as well. Okay, let's see. I got to go back to my slides here where you can still hear me. All right, so now here's my promise, guys. As you all know, I run Sticky, but this strategy I'm going to talk about right now will work with any software. So I'm not going to show you only things that you can build with Sticky. It's things you can build with other things too. What I want to do is zoom out to the big picture here. This is one of the biggest kind of aha moments I had about in the last couple of years of why my business struggled as a portrait photographer and why so many people's online marketing struggles is it feels like sometimes your website stopped working, right? Well, the reality for me is my website never worked. And maybe yours hasn't either. And I want to explain what I mean. So real talk, back in the 2000s, I was awkward. I was afraid to ask for referrals. But when I first started, guess where my business all came from? And a lot of times this is where your friends and family are the ones that convinced you to start the business in the first place, right? So you naturally get some business from there. But what happens after that, when it starts to dry up, is I was booking those few clients despite my terrible website, right? Well, if we zoom out, the harder challenge of a website, of any marketing, is to convert strangers into booked clients, right? And we're trying to get our websites to do all of that heavy lifting themselves, and it can't do it all alone. But this is the true test of how we should evaluate all of our marketing is, can it turn a stranger into a booked client? And I don't want to use like an old school definition of marketing. What I think is more relevant is good marketing turns strangers into clients. And it gives strangers time to get to know, like, and trust you. You need those three things, right? And those three things simply take time. And people don't spend that much time on your website anymore, right? So now we got to think of other ways to do it. And we do it with marketing. Everybody should know Donald Miller. It's a good time to read his book, Building a Story Brand, that just whipped through our industry really fast in the last few years. Really good stuff here. He says email marketing is the way marketing is done today. And then other experts, everybody I talk to raves about the power of email marketing. It's the glue that holds all of his marketing together. More inquiries in 3 months than previous 3 years. This is where I get all of my bookings. Email automations give us more bookings and more freedom. But wait a second, are you sure? Like, people still want to check their email, right? Everybody's like, isn't email dead? It's so 90s or 2000s, right? But here's what Sid had to say about that same kind of frustration or uncertainty.
And honestly, I'd never used email marketing before. I had people tell me that I needed to try it, that it was kind of the new thing and everybody loved it. But honestly, I had so many emails in my own email box. I just thought, is this really gonna be effective? Like, who needs one more email in their email box to go through? So I wasn't really sure what to think about it, but
So I think that sums it up, is I wasn't sure what to think about. When you guys answered the survey for me, a lot of you said some of this similar stuff, like, are we sure? Like, my inbox is full. Do I really need to do this? But why then are so many experts still raving? There's this disconnect that I want to help clarify for you guys. Why would Donald Miller say, if you aren't collecting email addresses on your website, you're missing out? So here's another counterpoint to from Michaela and Dave Harris.
There are so many benefits to using email in your business. In fact, our business wouldn't even exist without email.
It's given us more flexibility in our business and allowed us to connect with our prospective clients on a deeper level. Now we have even more bookings and more freedom.
So our business wouldn't even exist without email. It gives them more bookings and more freedom.
So it really kind of changed my marketing. It gave me a simple, concise way to get information to the people who were looking to book me. I found that a lot of people just needed a reason. They were talking to a lot of different photographers, and I was the one who was following up with them. I was the one that was giving them information that was helpful to them, without, really sort of needing a lot from them. It was just a short, easy, concise little email for them to read in their email box every day for 5 days. And they knew that it wasn't going to be spammy. It wasn't going to be, salesy. It was just some quick tips to help them, as they planned their wedding. And they just really enjoyed it. And I got a lot of really good feedback about it. It really has, I think, booked me some clients that I would not have had otherwise, because most photographers they reach out, they, maybe give pricing, and then they're not great about following up.
So let me know in the comments, guys. Give me a yes if this resonates with you. If you realize that, look, on one hand, why do I need to do email? Isn't it overwhelming, right? But then when you see that a stream of value being delivered, that clients actually resonate. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So we're frustrated with people coming to our website and kind of just disappearing, right? And not booking. The problem here, guys, is that our contact forms, our newsletters, other things, this is not the answer. This is not what we're talking about. When these photographers, when these experts are raving about the power of email, this is not it. You guys can still use these really powerful surveys to ask all of these great questions, like what's your date, what's your budget, what's your location. All these fun things are good to know, But those are good to know on the second, third, fourth date. And you can ask that after you've just collected their email address. Glorianne says, makes perfect sense. I just never know what content to include. Oh, good point. I'll share some of those examples in a minute. So this isn't enough, right? The problem here is it's too much too soon. It's like proposing on the first date. See, the only people, you should probably be getting about 1%. So about 1 out of every 100 visitors on your site might be filling this form out because they have already decided that they want to hire you. But the problem is, what about the other 99% of your traffic or more? They're not quite ready to book. They don't know, like, and trust you yet. So they're not going to fill this out. This is too much. They don't want to give you all of that. So what we need to do is give them some value first, give to them, be generous first in exchange for only their email address so that you can begin a conversation. So to wrap up, why email is so important, there's 1,000 reasons, but these are my top ones. You guys, you own it. If you've seen how hard it is to market on Facebook, now you have to pay. If you own an email, you don't have to worry about that anymore. You can automate it. Building an automation is the best thing you guys could do in this downturn so that when you come out, it just runs no matter what. Most people are not ready to book yet. And so your website is the beginning of a conversation, not the end. I love this sentence. Your website is the beginning of a conversation, not the end. It's easy to feel like we put so much work and effort just to get a view, just to get the word out, to get traffic and SEO and referrals and all that stuff coming, that we're like, oh my gosh, yes, I've got a view. And we go to our stats on our site and go, oh my gosh, like, why is nobody calling me? Well, we're not across the end zone yet. You've got to take them a little bit farther and give them time to get to know you. So screaming like, hey, book a session now, that's too much too soon. Or like, hey, don't miss out, join our newsletter and for our coupons. Like, nope. Newsletters are not what we're talking about. That's old school email marketing. We're going to talk about sequence marketing. If you do want to have a good, powerful call to action on your website, I think it's okay for the people who are ready to go a little bit farther to have schedule a chat or schedule a consult link so that as soon as somebody is started to trust you a little bit more, it's very easy. Everywhere they see you, they can quickly schedule a chat. Okay, so I hope you guys are understanding why email is so powerful. Now let me talk about the difference. So one of my big goals today is to help you guys have clarity of why so many people still struggle while at the same time so many people are raving about it. Why is this disconnect happening? And I want to end the confusion. A lot of it starts with this, is that there's just it's too big of a term. Email marketing means 1,000 things. There's complicated science and conversion rates and automations and workflows and all of this stuff that, frankly, photographers don't need. If you run a $1 million business, you need to pay somebody full time to run your email marketing automations. If you are a photographer just looking to make 6 figures, you don't need to be an expert in email marketing. What I want to help you do is focus on the 20% and get 80% of those results of what's possible with a simple email marketing sequence. So this is why when all of these experts, both out of our industry and in our industry, are all raving about email, they're not talking about newsletters. They're not talking about other things. They're talking about email sequences. So old school is, hey, contact now to book a session, or don't miss out, subscribe to my newsletter, and you just send out pictures of the sessions, right? Over and over and over again. It's all about you. The new school is an opportunity to give your clients, your potential clients, what they care about. Free education, free insight, free wisdom. And earlier somebody said, I don't know what to write about. Glorianne. So I think what the best guide for that is your wisdom. It's really easy for us to forget that our clients care so much about what it is you do and your experience that you know. If you're a wedding photographer, you've been to dozens, maybe hundreds more weddings than any of your clients. If you're an infant photographer, you've soothed and coddled more infants than they've ever held in their life. So you have this innate wisdom in you that sometimes you forget you have. Okay, so let's just, okay, yeah. All right, let's go. Let me bring you in. All right.
Hey,
Give us some insight on what to write about.
yeah, I want to do that. Also, so leading into that, you mentioned the 80/20 rule. If you really want to sound smart out there, people, you can refer to the Pareto principle because that's the 80/20 rule, and we live by it. We live by it in our business. That idea that you can get 80% of the results from usually just about 20% of the stuff that you would try, the marketing ideas you would try. Only about 20% of those will actually give you effective results. The rest are a waste of time. So what if you could find out what those strategies were that were actually providing all the results and just focus 100% of your time on those? That is exactly what we found is so powerful. You're mentioning like all of those different aspects of email marketing, and we use a lot of those in other businesses. So as our photography business, our main business for 12 years now, grew and succeeded and became more streamlined and automated because of simple email sequencing, that has given us a lot of room in our life to start other businesses and do things that we're passionate about, like the education. We also like properties and Airbnb and different stuff we can do. And we use really big, expensive software systems that do all the email marketing stuff to run some of those types of businesses. But we still use a simpler just email sequence system for our photography business, just because it's so time efficient. We're so quick with it, and it's so easy. And it is what, for a photography business, is what just keeps everything growing. So I love focusing on that, and I love that you bring that up. And then when it comes to,
oh, he just froze up again. He was just on a roll. I think it's so important to do that 80/20 and to know that that as photographers, I think it's so easy to just get lost in Google. There's literally dozens and dozens of email marketing platforms out there, and most of them are going to be more than you need. And that's okay, as long as you can put blinders on and stay focused on building the core thing that matters most. All right. So let me walk you through that. So here's the distinction of old school versus what I call new school email marketing. Old school is a manual email newsletter that you've got to write on a regular basis. It's not enough reason anymore for somebody to join. Nobody wants to register for your newsletter because they don't know what that means. It's not specific enough. It sets vague expectations. What are you going to send me? Like, what do you have for breakfast? Are you going to send me discounts all the time and sales like every other day? People just don't know, so people don't want a newsletter. It's hard for you to write. Writing's the hardest part, and if you start not doing it, then that hurts you too, because people don't know what to expect. And one of the other bummers is with new subscribers, you've got some good content in there, but as soon as when somebody joins your newsletter, they're just getting whatever you've written lately instead of like your very, very best content and resources that you've written. Let's look at the new school. So an automated email sequence. Because you can be specific, like, hey, 10 location ideas for a senior portrait session, or 10 tips to choosing a wedding photographer right for you, or having a stress-free wedding, or what to wear for a boudoir, like whatever is specific to your niche, people are going to opt into that at a drastically higher rate. Whereas a form like a newsletter is maybe getting like 0.2% conversion right now. Some of these forms we're seeing get upwards of 10%. So 10 for every 100 visitors to your site. When you're that specific, you only have to write 7 to 10 of your very best emails in a sequence form. So that way, you know you're making this amazing first impression for everybody that subscribes. And best of all, you can set it and forget it. This is something you guys can work on for a couple days right now. And then once it's live, it's live. And you can come back and polish it. But when you're not touching it, when you're not logging in to update it, you can forget it for months at a time, and it's okay. If you forget a newsletter strategy for months at a time, it's just all of your leads are gonna kind of die out. All right, especially the new leads. Okay, I hope this is making sense. Give me a quick thumbs up if this is resonating with you guys. If understanding the difference between a newsletter and a sequence was valuable, something that was helpful to learn. So it all comes together. Once you've chosen what to send them, now you need to capture the email with a slide out form here on the right. Hey, what is boudoir? Grab our free email guide, 7 things every boudoir photographer wants you to know. This is an email sequence, okay? And then an exit intent form is super, super powerful. This is right before somebody goes to leave your website, a pop-up or a modal comes up and says, hey, before you go, I'd like to give you something, right? Thanks, guys. Everybody's giving me thumbs up. I love it. Enter your email below. So this is really good. This form, the exit intent form, converts a lot more traffic into leads. Okay. That's what is called an exit intent form. Again, you can get this from a variety of different vendors where they specialize in just selling forms like this. Automated email sequence. So it's not a PDF and it's not a newsletter. There's typically, I recommend about 7 to 10 emails in about 2 weeks. Because in that first 2 weeks is the most important when they're the most valuable. When it's done, you can invite them to your newsletter and you can still send additional things later as you have time. But once you start thinking about down the road, that starts to kind of dip your toes into more than the 20% that's going to give you 80% of the value. And what I see so sad is trying to do all this other stuff burns you out, and this doesn't get live. You need this first chunk live, then worry about adding more, then worry about other polishes. And I'm going to show you the very best next thing to build once you have this foundation set up. So other ideas, 7 tips for getting engagement photos you'll cherish just as much as your wedding. 7 tricks to taking better pictures with your smartphone. When people start to think of you as the expert, when they are ready to hire a photographer, you are the first person they think of. All right, awesome stuff, guys. So that was my promise to show you guys how this is something you can build with most email marketing platforms. If it's okay with you guys, I'd like to show you why we built Sticky Email. I think we've got some fans, some users on the call also, but the big 3 challenges, I was like, why would we make a new one when there's literally dozens of email tools out there you can use? These were the big hurdles. When I would talk to photographers over and over again, try and use these other tools, is what should I write? What should I collect? How do I collect it on my website? And then how do I set it all up? Let's see. So we really wanted to take those 3 biggest challenges and just tear them apart so that you don't have to worry about those 3 things. And we significantly simplified the whole process, focusing on just 20% of the features that matter most to give you 80% of the value. So really quickly, how it works inside of Sticky Email. Let me know if this is something you guys want me to walk through. We've got still getting more thumbs ups. So you just choose from our pre-written sequence library. This is the biggest difference, the biggest value that we offer specifically to photographers. So you choose your niche. We dig in here to newborn. We've got a handful here, and in each of the different niches, 8 practical tips that I love to share with newborns. So you can think about how much easier it is to start with a template, to start with somebody else's words that you can then over time make your own. But these are all good enough that many photographers are making the existing content live in the same day. And then over a period of weeks, they can come back and add more of their own voice, their own images. So once you choose your template, you add your signature, and we inject it to all of your emails, so you don't have to do that over and over and over again. You can edit the pre-written sequence to your heart's content, but again, out of the box, it's really good. And then we give you the forms, so you don't have to plug them into other form tools. We give you a variety of forms you can add to any website with just a quick paste of a code. So we've got the exit intent and the slide out forms. You just hit the copy code button and then add it to your website, and you're good to go with a nice strong, you can add your own nice image that's going to catch people's attention, and then a good relevant offer based on what you know your clients care about. So let me know, guys, if this is resonating and why you might think that this is so much more powerful than a newsletter. Okay, so normally in normal circumstances, guys, I do a special on the webinar. It's normally $25 a month or $249 a year. I give you your first pre-written email sequence and all of your email capture forms and your subscribers up to 500. But I'm not doing that. We are public on our website right now. If you just go to stickyemail.com, it's a 3-month free trial. I think that I know everybody needs to be careful with the investment and how you spend the money that you have right now. And I don't want you to have to worry about that. I want you to be able to work on this in your downtime. So Diego says this is for existing clients. So if you are an existing Sticky Folio or Sticky Album client, email is separate. So yes, you can go and try that link and there's an option here on our homepage, just create free account. If it doesn't let you, just send an email to support@stickyemail.com. Jennifer says, amazing. Thank you. You bet. Thank you so much for being here, guys. I really want you guys to be able to be productive in this time. And then as business starts to come back in, then you can worry about investing. And trust me, I'll have specials when it's time for your account to renew or to pay. Then you will have options for that in 3 months, but don't worry about it now. Okay. 80-20 rule. That is sticky email in a nutshell. Now let me wrap up with my favorite new strategy. For those of you that are using Sticky already, that have a Sticky account and want to get the most value out of it now that you have it, this is the very next awesome thing to build. And if you guys haven't gotten, I'm a huge Donald Miller fan. He's got his new book, Marketing Made Simple. I think start here. But this is also good too, more updated. He talks even more about marketing. I talk about sales funnels, sales and marketing funnels. Let me know if you guys know what a funnel is. And I'm going to show you an example of what one is. I never know if using the word funnel is too nerdy because I can very easily get too nerdy. So here's how I like to explain it. Is any kind of marketing. This is another analogy I learned from Donald. It's like you're across a river that's really deep and muddy, and you're saying, "Hey, I'm a photographer. I can take your picture. Come on over. I know you can't see it, but there's little stepping stones you can walk on just under the surface. Trust me. Come on over." Nobody's going to do that. We need to reveal the safe, small, baby step stones for them to come over and work with us. And that's what email helps you do. And that's what sales and marketing funnels help you do also. So here is a quick case study. I want to start with the end and then we'll work backwards. So we built an inquiry funnel for Melissa, and I want you to hear the cool results.
Well, before reworking the pricing guide with Shannon, it was my high school senior average was $299. Now that it's gone live, my average is $1,000. They don't even look at my lowest package anymore. They don't even want anything to do with it. So it's just awesome.
It's just awesome. Now that it's gone live, my average is $1,000. What I love about this example is for a lot of us, putting a price on or raising our prices, it's really hard to do. And the more places you can write it down and show it to people, the more real it is and the less pushback you'll get. So Melissa says, I'm working on my website now. Would I be able to use this myself while building Wix? Wix can be tricky. I don't know how much they support, especially if you're on the free plan. But email support at Sticky Email, and we can help you out there. Okay, so back to the funnel. Do you want, give me a yes, if you want to both double the conversion of traffic. So remember, if you just have a simple contact form, your conversion rate now is probably something about 1%. For every 100 visitors, you're probably getting 1 email. If you want to get upwards of 5 to 10 to 15% of visitors coming, and you also want to increase your sales average, this is what you need to build. And I get so excited about this because Melissa's not alone. There's other people having results like this. So here is the important detail. I know that I know it's frustrating when somebody only asks you about price, but we've got to lean into that and understand that they're only asking about price because Glorianne says this is a trick question. No, it's not. This is very possible, and people are doing it. So you want to start with just your tips, right? But then once you have it live, you can add this super powerful sentence. So a lot of you, I asked you guys how you currently deliver your pricing information. This is the new best way. So by saying, hey, before you go, here's some tips along with my 2019 pricing guide or my 2020 pricing guide. Combining those two things, because it's just the fact everybody wants your pricing. Okay, it doesn't mean you need to give them everything. It just means you need to give them something to help because they don't know what else to ask for. So with that, the combination of pricing plus education means that you've earned permission to send them multiple emails over time, which is going to help you. Instead of just sending them one email with a PDF that they're not going to read or understand, and that's it, and then they ghost on you. But you've earned permission to send multiple emails, and you're going to send them a pricing guide. Okay, so here's why this increases prices. You impact your sales average more in the first 5 minutes of the whole process, not in the sales session. I used to think that I was so bad at sales because nobody wanted to buy my albums or buy other things, but this is what I was doing wrong. So the illusion was that I was afraid to talk about products. I just wanted to do the session. I just wanted to take their pictures and have them go, wow. That's all I wanted. But I would get to the order session and be like, oh, cool. Now you can do these really cool like metal prints that float on the wall. And they're like, metal prints? What, dude? No, we're good with the digitals. And I would just be so discouraged, right? When the reality is you can move, there's no tricks you can do in the sales sessions to change that. The only way to have a successful order session is if you've done the work here and here and here, right? Each way you gradually move the needle, but you actually move it the most in the moment you reply to a pricing inquiry, right? So not only that, you get more sales and happier clients. You never want to be in a situation where you're trying to sell something to somebody that has no idea that you're going to try to sell them that stuff, that you offer albums or prints or wall art, etc. Okay, so think about this way. If you're going to go to Ruth Chris for steak or Outback, you already know going into it where you're going to spend your money, how much money you're going to spend, right? You just know you're going to spend more here based on what is on the wall, what's in the menu, right? That expectation is already set. And that's the same thing that's happening to your clients. So you impact the sale more in the first 5 minutes. And when you can do this with a funnel, I'm going to show you how you can do it. It also makes it easier for people to choose you. So if you're tired of people ghosting when you give them your pricing information and they don't follow up, this will also reduce the ghosts as well. Okay, so a lot of you have all of the information on your website. That's too much too soon. They don't understand why like a 8 by 10 is worth something. They don't understand the difference between canvas and metal. That's just not, it's too much, right? And it's an amazing opportunity to get an email address. So don't give them anything until you get the email. When we send the email PDF, you're not there with them. Oftentimes the PDF is meant to be printed and discussed in person, which if you guys currently have these, I'm not saying that those are a waste of time and energy. I'm saying that you need to save that until you're in person and you are working with them side by side or on a phone call. That's when you can show them your nice, beautiful pricing guide. But on a phone, it doesn't look right. During the pricing consult. So this is where I'm going, and I think this is a good next start. But what can happen is if this isn't automated, this can take like 72 hours, or this can take too long if you don't get back to them with something quickly. And so you can lose out on deals, and you feel stressed that if you're not getting on the phone with somebody quickly, you're going to lose the deal. And all of the inquiries become like these fire drills that you got to rush to. Okay. So my number one goal here in this section is just for you to stop emailing PDF pricing, okay? It's too much too soon. It loads slow. It's not mobile friendly. It's outdated. People dig up 2-3-year-old PDFs from your inbox and say like, oh, why your price is so much? The reality is they can't understand the value in the way that just a PDF oftentimes is formatted. And it oftentimes has way too much data, right? This is all about baby steps. The first stone can just have highlights, just a preview of your packages and the products that people love getting. And then the more they get to know, like, and trust you, the more detailed you can get, okay? That's the idea of a funnel. So now let me show you what this looks like built. I'm gonna fast forward like a baking show to when the cookies are done. Let me show you, we're gonna walk through this funnel through the perspective of somebody shopping for a photographer, okay? So they're like, how much? They're looking for a photographer. They Google, where do they go? They go to their Facebook groups. They ask around for referrals. They eventually end up on your website. Great, awesome. That's a huge thing to accomplish. And then after looking around, they like your work. And then there's a cool form. Oh, cool. I can learn more and I get their price information. All right, I'm going to give you my email address. Now I'm instantly redirected. The important thing here, I will get into nerdy details, is whatever form you're using, you don't want to have to make them go to their inbox to have to get something. You have their attention. Seconds matter. When you've told them, hey, I'm going to give you my pricing, you build trust by giving it to them instantly. So whatever form tool you're using, you want the thank you or the confirmation to not say, oh, thanks, go check your email in a few minutes. You want it to redirect to a new page, not a PDF, to a website with a preview of your price, of your product and information. And you start with mockups. This is where the mockup tool I'm giving you for free comes in handy. People will go, oh, you know what? I didn't think of it. I was just looking for digitals, but now that I see these awesome images over the fireplace, that would be nice to have also. And this is all subconscious. And again, you're not giving all of the specifics. You're just saying prices start at. That's all you need on a pricing guide. It's an intro. It's a teaser to get them to get on a phone call or meet you face to face. And the really cool thing I teach is you can use tools like Loom to do a recording of your face and of your screen explaining this. Explain the page. Introduce yourself and introduce your product's baby step. Lori says this is brilliant. Thank you so much. I appreciate the feedback. This is one of the things that I'm most proud of, guys. It's like having an assistant. So imagine what it would be like if you had a studio manager where every time the phone rang, they answered, and they gave them this amazing introduction about you, about the products you offer. Maybe they're even in person and they're going through a consult and looking at all the possible products. And then you talk to them after it. Imagine how much better your job would be when you're talking to the clients for the first time after they know all of that about you. And you can do all of it without hiring an assistant because it's automated, because it's an email redirect with a video you pre-recorded and a simple teaser PDF pricing, online pricing guide. So let me show you, I'm going to pause for a second and show you what the online pricing guide looks like. So I really recommend like the video here, I'll skip that for now. That can minimize away. But you want to showcase just the products, right? Just say why these are our most popular products. Have a gallery they can scroll through. You can have a video here of people unboxing their products and loving and raving on you. And just do a very teaser amount of information. This does not have to be everything. If you have 4 packages, I don't care. Just show 3 right now. Because the goal of this page is to get them to book a consult with you where you can take them the rest of the way on this baby stepstone across the scary river, right? Okay, so this is the goal, is get them to schedule a call. They don't need to know everything. If you try to show them everything, they will ghost on you. She goes, okay, cool. I can schedule. I'm not quite ready. Remember, we're only like 5 minutes into this person's search. She's not ready to schedule a consult. No big deal. Because guess what? We already have their email address also. So now for the next 2 weeks, they're automatically getting nurtured with your best tips, with your best resources. Little by little, they get to know you. They get to know what you're about, your values, your process, whatever it is. And you can remind them, hey, if you haven't checked out the pricing guide, they can click and check it out. Or at the end, hey, I hope these tips have been valuable to you. I'd love to jump on a phone call and learn more with you. Please click the link below to jump on a phone call. And this is just a link out to Calendly, which you can use for free. It connects to your calendar, and it's not like they're not booking a session, guys. Remember, it's all about the tiny little baby step. They're just booking a conversation with you. And then when they finally do have the conversation over the phone or in person, you can walk them through the more detailed pricing guide you might have. Think about that journey for that imaginary customer and how they are able to crawl before they run. Can you imagine that this automation, this simple funnel in your business would increase your sales and your bookings? Let me know if you think that would help for you. Let's see. All right. So now I know I went through that really, really fast. Oh, wow. The sun's coming out. My camera's getting all bright. That's cool. Sun shining is good. Let me dim my lights a little bit. There we go. Okay. Yes, the training. Okay, so guys, if you're joining late, remember to bookmark this URL. As soon as we wrap up, this will stay here, and I'll also email it back out to everybody so you can review this. But when you walk through this pricing inquiry funnel or the baby step pricing blueprint, this training is also free right now. So when you log in to your sticky email, your free account or your existing account, go to Academy up here and then go to Baby Step Pricing Blueprint. And I break this whole funnel that I just showed you into tiny little 5-minute training videos so that you can build it one step at a time. Build your mock-ups, build your pricing, your online pricing guide, and then how do you connect it to your email automation as well. Guys, every salesperson will tell you, or sales business owner, a good sales process will beat an amazing salesperson every single time if they have a bad process. This is so powerful. Remember, when you go into Starbucks, you don't argue about the price because it's just there. And having a system and automation in place like this, people aren't going to question your pricing as much when it's built into an automation. And by the time they talk to you, they understand. So here's another case study. Stuart Beebe says, first, I spent ages not even having a price list. I would just put some prices in an email, and then I tried to design my own price list, which of course looked awful. And then after using this process, I've been selling more at the sales session, right? My pricing response looks professional, samples of products. It's kind of a no-brainer when you look at it in hindsight, when you introduce what it is you sell and examples. All right. So your website is the beginning of a conversation, not the end. Getting the strangers to take that first step across the river, it's the hardest part. It's too easy for us to think that a stranger on our website is just going to fill out the contact form. This is a huge, scary leap that we need to make easier. So that very, very first leap, it all comes back to email, guys. So don't get overwhelmed with the pricing funnel yet. I want that to be like the inspiration, the shining light at the end of the tunnel, but don't let it overwhelm you. Get just your basic email sequence live first, and then you can come back and add the pricing guide. And I can show the training is in there to walk you step by step through it. So first, get your sequence, right? Choose, if you use your existing tools or if you use Sticky, choose a sequence you want to start with, polish it, get your own words in there, and then make it live on your site. So that you can start turning the traffic that's there into leads and start nurturing them. Then once you have those two things done, then you can come back and do the pricing inquiry funnel. All right. Chris says, signing up. I love it. Awesome. Myra says, will any of this work on Facebook? Absolutely. I recommend posting as soon as you have your email sequence live. You can post that tip, that free resource, post that to social media and say, hey guys, I just launched a free guide on how to take seven tips for taking better pictures of your dog. Click here to come grab it. Send them to a landing page or to your website to then opt into your sequence, right? It's super powerful to turn all of your social traffic into your own email list, right? So that is the pricing inquiry funnel. It's awesome. Thank you, everybody. Let's see. So go to stickyemail.com. Doesn't look like Shannon's back yet, so I'll type it in. Sticky email. I can't type and talk. Sticky marketing. Tools.com. I know it's there. So there's a little footer when you get to that page to stickymarketingtools.com. Click the link there to create your free account. If you already have an account, guys, please utilize it in this time. I love it. Okay. Wertman says, doing it once, we are done here. Sounds awesome. I'd say so cool. Amirtius says, thank you so much for offering this. I feel I've been wanting to learn how to do this. You rock. You guys are super, super welcome. Let's see. Amber's got a question. Let me go to here so you guys can see. Oops. There we go. Where are all the new emails kept after the client signs up? I might want to send blast newsletters. Yes. That is like, I want to say less than a couple weeks away from launching. So for sure, before your 3-month trial is up, we are going to offer broadcast emails also so that you can do that. I've got lots of training. You want to be careful about blasts. You want to earn permission, earn trust first before you if you email too many times, you'll just end up in the spam. It'll hurt your delivery rate for everything. Denise says, thank you. Love it. Let's see. Southern says, perfect. Signing up now. Awesome. So excited for you guys to jump in and get this live in your business. Kelly says, thank you. Great info. That means a lot. I'm glad. I'll wrap up, guys. Keep the questions coming. I'll hang out for a little bit longer. I'm actually doing this again at the next hour. But I wanted to wrap up with some last video tools that I promised. And if you have questions about sticky email, guys, here we go. I'm going to bring Philip back on. Oh, yep, you're good. So let's see. Can you develop? Yes, Richard says, can you write your own sequence? You can absolutely write your own. Yeah, you're good. I can hear you. You're clear, buddy.
Nice. Good deal.
How you doing?
I was here the whole time. I enjoyed it.
Awesome. So I want to wrap up with some copy ideas and getting testimonials that I think you'll appreciate and have some cool things to add at the end. So using Loom, guys, make a recording the next time you get a pricing inquiry. Share your screen of whatever your current pricing information is now, and record your face, and just say, hey, thanks for checking out. Here's an intro to my pricing. Here's a link to schedule a call with me, or hit reply if you have any questions. You just record your screen, your face, your voice. This one tool has totally changed the way I work. I spend way less time in email. You can say so much more with a video message than you can with an email. All right. So loom.com, I love it. I go on and on and on. There's that part of that pricing inquiry funnel training includes how you can use that. So respond to inquiries. If any of you are trying to upsell or deliver online stuff, and for the first time, you need to educate them on how to do that. Make a quick 3-minute video, a screen recording, teaching them on what to do. If you need to delegate a project to somebody, make a screen recording and show them how to do it the way you like it done. If any of you outsource your editing to some other firm, record the screen of how you make your edit so they know how to do it just like you do. And then finally, if you want to build relationships with partners right now, make a video message. Just record something that they're doing that you think is awesome. and then celebrate them and make a video. And you'll be amazed at how many people watch it and respond. All right. Wrapping up, video ask. Many of you guys saw it before when for the registration for this webinar. So you get to ask a question with your phone with a video really quickly, and then you can let people respond with their phone, with their video or webcam, right? So here is, I'm going to leave you guys with this. There's a good way to ask for testimonials, and I want you to use the problem solution formula. So you want to be able to prime them to share about their hesitations, their problems before choosing to work with you, right? Because here's an example of one. People don't know where to start, and they also forget the pain that you solve because everything's great now, right? So here's an example of a very typical testimonial on a photographer's site. We knew that our day was wonderful, but Laura's ability to capture the true boundless joy that we felt that day is something that we will treasure forever. Good testimonial. This is the solution. This doesn't get people's attention, right? Not like when somebody talks about the problem you solve. And people don't know to think about that because we forget how things used to be hard once they're great. We have very short-term memory. So you just need to nudge your past customers right now with, hey, I would love a testimonial if you have a minute just to hit record and let me know how this was impactful in your life or what you really liked. And if you could help other people make the decision by talking about the challenge that you faced before finding me or before choosing us. So after searching online for photographers, we were worried that we wouldn't find someone right for us. Then they lead into that other solution. That's great. I was so worried about what to wear or if my kids would sit still. That stops potential traffic in their tracks. They go, oh, this person gets me. This is the problem that I have right now. If you're only talking about the solution, they can't see it quite yet. I kept putting it off and making excuses for a boudoir shoot. When you get people to talk about the hesitation and overcoming it, that captures people's imagination and attention. So, okay, finally, once you get these testimonials, as all of you guys are also polishing your websites and your headlines, use those words. Inject the way your clients talk about you and the problem you solve into the copy in your website. So this is probably, I'm realizing I'm squeezing too much we're a little bit over time, but I just wanted to give you guys a lot. Loom and video ask. Let's wrap up. I'll bring Philip back one more time. If you guys have any questions for us, support@stickyemail.com. Whew, I gotta eat some lunch.
I hear you. My tummy's growling along with yours, I'm sure.
Yes. Thanks for being here, man. Thank you so much for all of the participation everybody had. If you guys have any questions, I'll continue posting links here. Bookmark this URL. This video will stay here. You can watch it, and as soon as we drop off, you can hit refresh, and I think it'll be a minute. You can watch it all over again. You can come back to it and pause and review some of the parts where I went too fast. And if you get stuck with anything with creating your account with Sticky Email, we're here for you at support@stickyemail.com. Any last, there we go. Link to the mock-up. Thank you, David. Where do I have that? I'm going to let you chime in with your words of wisdom, things for other projects to work on right now, or if you want to just echo some of the things I was talking about.
Yeah.
Grab this link for people.
Thank you so much, first of all, Nate, just for taking the time to do this, especially for our audience right now. I know this is something that we were talking with people about in the group, and just wanted to make sure that they have the tools to, like you were saying, you can go out, and I remember Eileen and I used to do this. We had like about a half dozen to 10 maybe different pieces of kind of pasted together to help us like do little bits of this process, which is so strategic. And you could spend months of, what little free time you can find here and there trying to paste all that together and just get ready to do the work. So really thank you that you're helping us to get the work done during this time while we're at home and just actually do the work itself instead of trying to figure it out and making it simple for us. So that's what we appreciate.
taking out the roadmap or taking out like the guesswork, right? Some of these things when you just know that this is proven. So there, I just shared the link, the download link for the mockup, guys, the Photoshop mockup file. Grab that and then go to stickymarketingtools.com to get your free trial. And yeah, I'll hang out here in the chat as well, answer any questions that come up. But hang in there, guys. This too shall pass.
Exactly.
And it's the time and time again, the businesses that invest in marketing and polishing their systems are the ones that come out of a downturn like this the strongest. I know there's still a lot of unknown, but yeah, I just echo that sentiment that we focus on the things you can control and everything will be better. Your mental health, you'll be happier spending time with the family when you're working on your business versus surfing the news all day. All right, thank you, Philip. We'll be in touch, brother. You hang in there, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care.
Great. Thanks, Nate. Bye, man.
You bet.